So I'm sure you've heard the news by now that Prince Andrew, well, excuse me, formerly known as Prince Andrew, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor has been arrested. And I believe this is the first arrest within the Epstein-Trump files. And it's about damn time because over here in the United States of America, we're not doing anything. So let's go through what we know about Prince Andrew because as you know on this podcast, we've been following the Epstein case. So early hours in the UK, Prince Andrew was arrested on suspicion of misconduct while in office. And this is all related to the Jeffrey Epstein Trump files and the revelations over his relationship with the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein really came to light. Because you guys remember the sweaty asshole, formerly known as Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. Insane last name, by the way. That's a whole long story when you go into like why they have all these last names, but whatever. He lied. Well, they all lie, but he really lied in 2019 when he did that BBC interview talking about how he doesn't sweat and how, oh my gosh, do you remember this part? I actually rewatched it last night because I was like, this man. But the part where he talks about how he used Jeffrey Epstein for his knowledge and like educational purposes. I like rewatched that and I had the exact same feeling I did back when I watched it for the first time, closer to the time it was aired, that this man is a bald-faced liar. Liar. It's just insane. The older we get, the more we realize that adults are stupid. So this development of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, I'm just gonna call him Andrew, Andrew getting arrested, I think shocked the nation, shocked the UK. I think it was surprising to all of us, at least over here in the US, because nothing's happening. And I'll go into Lex Wexner in a minute. But nothing's happening because, you know, this world, we come to realize, protects the rich and powerful. Here we go. So the Thames Valley Police said in a statement earlier this morning that it had arrested a man in his 60s on suspicion of misconduct in the public office, which carries a maximum sentence of life of imprisonment in the UK. I didn't know that. We'd love to see it. And actually, is that? And then here's a picture. Let me show you. Here's a picture of the police entering Mountbatten Andrew's residence. As you can see here, they mean business. I actually thought that was Andrew, but I guess not. It's a police person, police officer. Interesting, interesting. So the police actually didn't name him at first because that's standard practice British law, not to name your suspects at the moment, but screw this. Like when it comes to this, I don't even care. I think all the law goes out the window because who made that law? The assistant chief, Oliver Wright, said, quote, "We understand the significant public interest in this case, and we will provide updates at appropriate times. Following a thorough assessment, we now have opened an investigation into the allegations of misconduct in public office." And so, before they said the name, I just want to give you a little bit more context. Earlier this month, the Thames Valley Police actually said they were looking into a claim that former Prince Andrew, while serving as a UK trade envoy in 2010, has shared confidential information documents with Epstein at the time. Idiots. I can't wait for Peter Mendelsohn to go down because I can't wait for that too. Anyways, because that all stems from one email that in the latest batch of release, you know, the stupid release of the files that were all redacted. However, you know, the DOJ, they just, you know, they're incompetent. An email appears to show Andrew forwarding Epstein a report from his special advisor about the then prince's visit to South Asia. Andrew has not commented on the latest batch of files, and he does still remain innocent. Insane. So his relationship was so real. And you remember that disgusting photo of Prince Andrew over a child's body? Do you remember that in those pictures? Look it up. I'm not going to show it here. The whole crazy part about this is the Epstein class are full of grown adults. And the people making the allegations were children. Grown adults. Stupid. Well, guess what? The king came out with a statement. And so the king has been, you know, I mean, he's obviously, him and his brother, their youngest brother, Prince Andrew, were like, we gotta focus on the victims. We gotta do all this stuff. But King Charles, you gotta tell us what you know, because there's absolutely no way King Charles didn't know anything. The Queen, we're starting to realize, knew a lot. There's just no way King Charles and Prince Edward didn't know anything. So, anyways, the king comes out, and he came out earlier today, actually a few hours ago, after his brother was arrested after his 66th birthday. Oh, today's his 66th birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Andrew, and I hope you rot in life prison. So, in a statement issued by Buckingham Palace on Thursday, King Charles said, a statement from His Majesty the King. The fact that we have this is so insane, and I'm a Brit. I have learned with deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. What now follows is a full, fair, and proper process by which the issue is investigated in an appropriate manner and by the appropriate authorities. In this, as I've said before, they have our full and wholehearted support and cooperation. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and serve you all. Charles R. The thing is, the damage is done. The damage is done. You gotta cooperate. You gotta say everything you know. Prince William, I actually reported a few months ago when Prince William did an interview with Eugene Levy, I believe it was, talking about how the future of the monarch is going to change and he's going to have progressive change. So he knows something, right? You had to have known something to make that statement. So no, unfortunately, they do need to comment further. We have a lot of questions, but they will work with the authorities. So I guess that's good, but it's just not looking great. It's not looking great for the royal family, and the fact that the law for what they want to charge Andrew with, and I also have to say, I recognize that it's not the charge we all want. Part of me feels like it's strategic. I don't know. These days, you can't really trust anyone in law enforcement. You can't trust judges. They're all corrupt. But a part of me wants to think this is strategic to get in and then fully investigate. But I also hope they don't stop at this and use this as an excuse for him to go life in prison. Does that make sense? Like, no, we need a full investigation of all of the victims and survivors. This is just so sick. Well, that was King Charles breaking his silence. And then a statement from Virginia Giuffre's family. As you know, I have been so just so impressed with how strong this family, Virginia's family, has been. Because you know her brother and her sister, not stepsister, sister-in-law, excuse me. They have been leading the charge, preaching her words. They've been so amazing during this whole process. And they came out with a statement, and they have never given up. They never gave up. Statement from the Virginia Giuffre family. At last, today our broken hearts have been lifted at the news that no one is above the law, not even royalty. On behalf of our sister, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, we extend our gratitude to the UK Thames Valley Police for their investigation and arrest into Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor. He was never a prince. For survivors everywhere, Virginia did this for you. And then they posted this, the famous picture that Virginia Giuffre leaked to the press because they were calling her a liar. She had enough. She had the absolute right to do this. And there's the disgusting, disgraced Prince Andrew with his hand around this 17, I believe she was 17 or 16. She was either way, she was a child, waist, with Ghislaine Maxwell grinning in the background like the sadistic freak she is. Look at him. And apparently Jeffrey Epstein allegedly took this photo. And then here we go. Trump, Melania, she's even disgusting. Prince Andrew, and there's Ghislaine and someone with and there's Jeffrey. Wow, we got the whole crew. The whole crew is in this photo. Look at them. They really think they're above the law, but just like the Giuffre family no one is above the law. No one is above the law, not even royalty. Look at Ghislaine. So that's the update on Prince Andrew, and I do just have two quick other updates. One, Zorro Ranch is now officially under investigation. However, it is convenient that the new owners of Zorro Ranch are Trump loyalists that have allegedly already started construction into turning it into a Christian children's camp. You can't make this shit up, can you? They want to turn Rape Ranch, in my opinion, into a Christian's children's camp. Again, using religion to hide from your crimes, extremism, right? And this man, the owner of it, is like, we want to make it a safe place for children given its history. Allegedly, in my opinion, he might be in the files. It's so gross. So there is an investigation in Zora Ranch. However, they've already allegedly started construction. There's that. It's just vile, disgusting people. The reason why they want to launch an investigation into Zorro Ranch is because there's allegations that there's dead bodies there, according to the emails, who said hide the dead bodies and don't even bother about cleaning it up, just stick them in the back. Another thing is Leslie Wexner was grilled by the was it the House Oversight Committee? I can't remember, but they were grilled by he was grilled by a few members in Congress at his Ohio ranch yesterday. Comes to find out that Leslie Wexner gave $1 billion to Epstein, and according to Democratic Congress members, they believe that Leslie Wexner is the reason why Jeffrey Epstein got all of his wealth to begin with. And of course, Leslie Wexner was saying things like, I don't remember. And he was saying things like, he also said that he got conned by Jeffrey Epstein, even though he has allegations of child rape against him. Oh, so just so you know, Leslie Wexner owns Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works. And a lot of these young children were trafficked through modeling agencies. I'm laughing because these people are sick. Sick. So that's where we're at with the Epstein case. So next I want to talk about this Real Madrid superstar. His name is Vini Jr. He's 25 years old, and he has been experiencing racism his whole football career. And so he's a premier football player, so professional football player. He plays for Real Madrid. He's like the star forward. If you guys know what that means, you're ahead of the game for me. But I've been aware of Vinny because of the allegations of racism over the years, and it just keeps getting worse. And so this is who he is, and I just wanted to quickly show you a picture because visuals. And so the other day, Vinny was playing against an Argentina team. And during the game, one of the players, white Argentinian, called him a monkey allegedly up to 5 times. Now, as you know, that is a racial stereotype towards Black people. White people would refer to us as monkeys, etc., saying that we're just aggressive, just violent people, just disgusting, the bottom of the barrel. And so it is absolutely racist thing to call Black people, especially because the intention was there with this player. So what happened? So apparently during this match, Vinny had a celebration. So he was leading the team, he scored a point, and he celebrated. And that's when the controversy began. Because the Argentinian player lifted his shirt over his mouth and he said something to Vinny, who, along with his teammates like Mbappe, who was there, and he's a very famous football player, said it wasn't a racial slur. I want to show you the video. It doesn't have any sound, but the Argentina team are saying that no, he didn't say anything racist. My question is, why cover up your mouth if you didn't? And so I want to show you the video that is in question. So this is what happened right here. You see, he scores. Then he does this dance. Okay. Bam, bam. People apparently, just real quick, people were throwing objects at him. Okay. They were throwing, which is not uncommon for Vinny. So then seconds later, things escalate. This is the guy, Presti Arnie, I believe his name is. Oh no, is that his name? Presti? Oh no, Presti. Yeah, anyways. So this is the man. He covers his face and says something under his shirt. Now, if it wasn't racist, why cover your face, right? So he covers the mouth with his shirt before saying something. We don't know what was said at the time, right? But it caused Vinny to dart over to the referee and for the referee to hold up this sign. And I'll show you what, let's see if they show. Yep. You see here? So as you can see here, he runs to the referee. I got a different video because it was better. And so this is actually quite controversial. So when he went to go run to the referee put up that racism symbol because it happens a lot in football, especially to players like Vinny. This right here, Moreno, how do you pronounce? So Mourinho is a very famous coach. He's the opposing team's coach. He was trying to downplay it and say, Vinny, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't do this. But Mourinho, you weren't there. Other players heard it. And so this is just another, and a lot of people, sports fans, are saying that they've lost a lot of respect for this coach, and that's how big this coach was. Why would you denounce racism when it's right? And then this other player here comes over and tries to taunt him by saying, "Have you ever won a World Cup? Have you ever won the world?" This is disgusting. So this is ongoing because Vinny has called out racism within the football premier and within the football community, and it continues not being listened to. So I'm going to go through this Instagram account called I'm just going to spell it because I'm embarrassed. I don't really know how to say it. SPN Football Club, ESPN Football Club put together a really helpful graphic to talk that goes over all of his racial abuse that he's experienced during his whole career. And keep in mind, it's now just really getting sorted. Does that make sense? Like the fact that they are now stopping games so for context, when the referee puts up that X sign to let them know like racism has happened on the field, they have to automatically stop the game and will not proceed until the team agrees to, or they can have the right to just close the game out completely. So Real Madrid star Vinny, how do you say that? Vinicius Jr.? Well, I call him Vinny. Other people do too. So Vini Jr. has suffered racial bias since arriving in Spain in 2018. So he's been with Real Madrid for most of his time, I guess, all of it, right? Because he's only 25. So in June 2024, 3 Valencia fans were jailed for racially abusing Vini in May 2023. In October 2024, Spain's national police arrest 4 people responsible for a hate campaign against Vini. Quote, he said, "In the last 3 months, we have already managed to put 3 or 4 people in jail. We are on the right path." I like that he's optimistic about it. But the BBC, in fact, the BBC did a deep dive, and they believe that over 8 years at Real Madrid, Vini has experienced approximately 20 cases of alleged racist abuse. And so when I was going through this article, they detail saying this hostility towards Vinny is real and it names, dates, court sentences. And it has names, dates, courts, and court sentences. He has been insulted in stadiums across Spain. He has testified in court after the black mannequin wearing his shirt was hung from a bridge. He has seen fans being sanctioned with suspended sentences of racial abuse in Valencia and Mallorca. Back in October 21, a fan shouted racial abuse at him as he was being substituted. The case was closed because the police were unable to identify the perpetrator. Then in March 2022, Mallorca fans made monkey noises towards him and told him that he should go pick bananas. I remember this back then. That's when I started paying attention. The authorities were outraged and said it was despicable, but they did not take any steps no action was taken, basically. And there's a bunch of bullshit apologies. And then in September 2022, Madrid fans chanted racial abuse outside the stadium. Prosecutors did not file charges. And then this is when the BBC says that things get worse. And in fact, a doll was wearing Vinny's jersey was found hanging this is the bridge, found hanging from the bridge in January 2023. 4 members were sentenced to prison terms between 14 to 22 months, which were later commuted to fines and restraining orders. Further incidents followed over the next few months, all which led to little or no repercussions for the perpetrators. If there's a turning point, it occurred in Valencia in May of 2023 when Vinny confronted the stands after being insulted. Later, in extra time, he was sent off after an argument with the Valencia goalkeeper and for punching Hugo Duro in the face. In June 2024, 3 fans were sentenced to 8 months in prison and 2 years of stadium bans for their part in the abuse. It was the first sentence of its kind in Spain, but it took all those years. This happened, he was like, what, 5, 6 years into his career? So yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. And the fact that Real Madrid is only now just taking it seriously, and coaches from opposing teams never take them seriously. No one ever really believes people. That's the thing. No one ever really believes victims these days. Like it's just becoming a lot. So anyways, Real Madrid actually took action. And I don't know if they've ever taken action before, but if I was Vinny, I would check the team for real, like the management and stuff, and just go down that rabbit hole. So Real Madrid handed the UEFA evidence said to confirm racism against Vini. Oh, what's the UEFA? What is that? UEFA? What's the? See, people need to like clarify things. You can't assume we all know what the heck. Oh, it's simply known as the Europe. I'm gonna look dumb. So it's apparently the European Football Association or something like that. The Real Madrid club finally submitted all graphic and testimonial evidence regarding the alleged racist attacks directed at Vini during that game. And through an official statement, the Spanish club confirmed its active cooperation in the investigation opened by the European entity. One of the key points in the document is the unconditional support for Vini. The club has, okay, here we go. Good for you. The club has made a point of publicly making the displays of affection and unanimous support for the Brazilian player is received from both the international football community and the local, after once being targeted by racial insults. Real Madrid reaffirms his historic commitment against intolerance. The board guarantees that it will continue to work side by side with institutions to eradicate violence and hatred, both in football stadiums and in society in general. The UEFA is expected to analyze the evidence presented in the coming days. So I guess we'll know what the verdict is, but it doesn't seem like that's an easy verdict for me. Guilty. And I'm sorry, but like we also need to look at the European laws because Epstein. Because of Epstein. And that actually brings me, this is so random. I'm just gonna quickly pivot. No, I'm not gonna do that in this. So, and I mentioned Mbappe earlier. So Mbappe is a famous football player. I remember him from the PSG days. I don't watch football, but I know the names, right? But I remember him from the PSG days. I didn't actually know he was on Real Madrid. I'm gonna make football one of my new sports I'm gonna watch when the next season starts. When does it start? I don't know. So Mbappe defends Vinny, saying he heard it. And actually, not only that, he went to that coach I was telling you about, Mahulio, who has lost a lot of credit, and confronted him and said, no, I heard it all. I heard it. And then, in fact, he confirmed to the media that, yes, he knew what happened. He heard it, and it will not be accepted. He confronted the coach, and he said it 5 times. He's speaking as clearly as possible. He's saying he knows what he heard. He was there. Mbappe was there. So I just wanted to put that on your radar that we're going overseas, but in sports overseas too, there is experiencing a lot of racism. Europe still has a big racism problem for real. It really does. Like, even all these years later, as much as people don't want to admit it, it really does. So the last topic I want to cover today is the really sad passing of Reverend Jesse Jackson. I was just like, I was talking to my mom about it and just kind of reflecting on it because I grew up with learning civil rights. I grew up with, if you were in a Black household, maybe you also had photos of these civil rights leader around the place, or you had books or magazines about it. My aunt has everything. She's got the treasure troves. I'm going to just go over there and do a deep dive. She's got so much historic stuff that like, I'm like, people say, oh, hoarding, blah, blah. Not like she's a hoarder, but you know what I mean? Like keeping all this stuff over the years. But now I'm like, oh no, keep it. This is great because she's literally a walking Smithsonian. And she has it all. And so we grew up, like my brother and I grew up, and my cousins, we grew up knowing these people. We grew up knowing who MLK Jr. is, Malcolm X, Ella Baker, W.E.B. Du Bois. Yeah, don't play. I know. Rosa Parks, John Lewis, Thurgood Marshall, you name it. We grew up with those names. Now, whether we knew the extent of who they were, I wasn't at like 12, do you know what I mean? But now as I get older, I'm 31, I'm just more than ever want to learn. I don't know what maybe it was honestly Trump and lack of critical thinking in this country now. But like, I was never one of those students that was like, oh my gosh, I just want to learn. I just want to learn. No, I was very much like enjoy the moment type of person. But now that I'm older and we're starting to see adults aren't learning and people that's a choice, right? It's a choice to stop learning. And so we really can't stop learning for real. Like I can't emphasize it enough. These people want us to be dumb. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to be dumb anymore. The more I learn about them, the more I'm like, damn, we've gone back in time for real. Everything that Jesse Jackson did to progress Black community, American society, alongside MLK, alongside John Lewis, alongside Angela Davis, and I say Angela Davis because that's one of my favorite because I did a whole essay on her. But you know what I mean? I just think it's so sad that these big historical figures are, in my opinion, no more, right? Like, we can think, okay, Obama's, but he was president. We can think of the Obamas, but like, who else? Who else is like a young Black activist for real? Like, and we can look at like politicians, but no, I'm talking about a real grassroots activist. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's a ton, and I'm actually going to go explore it because now I'm sitting here, I'm like, damn, I don't know. And that's part of the problem. We don't know because we're not doing our homework. But maybe there also isn't as many that can break through in today's society. And it's just so sad because I feel like a lot of Black history, if I'm just going to go on a tangent now, is being erased because we got Trump taking away all the Black historic museums. We have them erasing slavery. We have to know about this segregation. We have to know that we are in 2026. We have progressed a lot, but there's so much work we need to do. And as a 31-year-old, I'm now sitting here like, damn, like, who's going to be leading that charge? Like, and that might sound crazy, but like, we're losing that era of our civil rights leaders. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, who is it next? Because we do obviously have a lot of young people like the Mandamis and politicians and stuff that are doing really well, in my opinion. I mean, he's only been there 2 months. He's already helped out with free childcare. And now he's doing it, freeze the rent. And that was 2 out of 4 of his campaign promises already in 2 months. And politicians haven't done anything for us on both sides for decades, centuries. So I'm worried. Like, I'm just really sad by it. This one hit for some reason. And maybe because it's the times, right? So we're, as I mentioned earlier, we're losing a lot of our history due to these idiots regime in the White House. I also feel like we're going through history right now, right? Like, we're so focused in the now, which we freaking should be, because, and I know you guys have been paying attention, but like, for those of you who haven't, I can't emphasize enough, we're going to be so screwed by this administration financially. Affordability's gone. Housing market is just, it's a disaster. It's going to take decades to rebuild in America. And because we haven't even hit rock bottom. That's the crazy thing. We haven't even really hit rock bottom. And I'm like, who's going to be part of that group to lead the charge? Is it us? No, it can't be us. It can't be everyday ordinary people, right? I mean, is it? I don't know. We gotta really think about this. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out a way how I'm gonna like platform more activists, or at least talk about them more, because I don't know. I'm telling you now, the Reverend Jesse Jackson passing really just did something to me. I don't know. But anyways, I also did want to say, like, you have to also think about it in the political sphere. Like, Jesse Jackson with alongside Shirley Chisholm and crew, he was one of the first Black people. Actually, Shirley Chisholm was the first in my opinion, but Jesse Jackson, his campaign for presidency, even though he didn't win, was so national at the time in the 80s. He ran twice, but his second campaign in 1988, it just went so national, and he just put this new wave of hope into a lot of people, just like Shirley Chisholm. Because I think a lot of people in the United States, they were off the back of Shirley Chisholm trying to run. A lot of young people, Black women, a lot of white women, working class people voted for her or really wanted her to win, but she didn't get it. So I think they saw like Jesse Jackson as like the next hope. He didn't get it, but he got really, really close. And I think that's what helped. Jesse Jackson is what helped birth Obama, you know, and people like that who were going to come with the generations to come. And I just, yeah, just hearing about his passing really was sad. It's like history. It's just as we're getting older, it's starting to die out. And his campaign slogan was "Keep Hope Alive." So maybe we got to do that. Maybe we got to keep hope alive. Maybe I got to keep hope alive. Well, RIP to the Reverend Jesse Jackson. What a amazing career. 84 years old. He worked so closely with MLK. I remember that in school. Like, I also remember they had a really good relationship first, let me start, but they weren't shy of telling each other their opinions. Like, they would have heated debates. But I think that's healthy, right? Because otherwise you're in a cult like MAGA. Well, that was just a really sad, that was just really sad. And during Black History Month, I mean, hey, what a ray for our Rev to go out in Black History Month. Like, if it's gonna happen, it's like during Black History Month, it's perfect, isn't it? There's going to be tons of tributes to him throughout, the next couple weeks. I believe his funeral is being planned for next week. I think it's going to be televised. I'm going to pay attention. I might catch it. I might have to catch it later because, life is lifing. But, yeah. Well, I just wanted to end on that. Next, I mean, obviously, this Epstein stuff is kicking off, so I'm going to keep talking about it in politics. But I'm going to update on what this dementia-ridden president is doing because you like, it's so under the radar now because Epstein has taken over, which I understand. But we also need to focus. We can do multiple things at once. I can do multiple things at once. It's maybe not advised, but we gotta do it. We gotta do it. I don't even care. The way our brains are activated. Oh, and then the last thing. This is kind of silly, but I kind of want to learn constitutional law. If you would have met me, I would have never wanted to learn law. Like, you must be out your mind. But there's something about it. I always come back to constitutional law when I'm doing my research. And I think I might look into a little free class or something because I'm not gonna pay. I'm not going back to. There's no way I'm going back to. I did one degree there because there's no way I'm going back to work. I mean, school. Oh my God, could you imagine if I went back to? There's no way. Shout out to one of my best friends. He's going back to get his accounting degree. Power to him, honestly. If I have to do another Harvard reference, oh, I'm gonna lose my shit. But I do want to study a course, like a little free course. I'm finding. I don't know where I'm gonna find it. If you guys know, let me know. And next time I want to give a mini update. My fur baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna give an update. She's running with her neurology journey because I have a fur baby and she got all the problems just like me. So we're two peas in a pod. She's right here. She's my Velcro baby too. Do y'all have a Velcro baby? It can listen. I'm all smiles now, but sometimes it can be a lot. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm honestly one of those psycho people. Like, this is my daughter, for real. Like, I birthed her paws first, by the way, all four. So I birthed her, and she's on this new, whatever, I'll just give it now. She's on this new medication. She's on Keppra, for those of you who know. But we had to up her dosage because she still was getting seizures. So far, so good. And I'll talk more about that next time. Go rescue a shelter baby, everybody. They're so sweet. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.